Hey guys.
Hey, what's up? Talking sayings here. What's your favorite saying? Penny saved, penny earned. I kiss a red-headed duck. Hey, Rockstar 5, what's up? How's Ireland? Ariel Charles, I-6813, hello. We're doing sayings. What's your favorite? You gotta have some favorite sayings if you're in Ireland. If you're in Ireland, right? Something about where the sun don't shine. What else? What do you guys got? What's your favorite sayings? Great grandma used to have a bunch. Take care of the pennies and the dollars and take care of themselves. May the road rise up to meet you and the wind be at your back. Man, I like that one. Yes, that's a good one. I like that one. That's a good one. Granddad always said, good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. My great uncle would say, I never did get it. He was a World War II vet, but he'd say, oh, well, I'll kiss a red-headed duck. I don't know what the hell that meant. Still to this day, I'm trying to figure that out. What does that mean? I'll kiss. And he always say it after something like, like, I don't know, like you hear something, he'd be like, I'll kiss a red-headed duck or something like that. I don't know what that was. The World War II generation. And then, like I say, Granddad say, good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Great grandma, she was more clean. She'd say words once spoken can never be taken back, or penny saved, a penny earned, or take care of the pennies and the dollars to take care of themselves, or stuff like that. I don't know. You know the sayings that go on and on. I love that stuff though from the old generation, all the different sayings. I love yours. That one was good. Hello, Wilbur Pulak. You got any sayings? Dexter Winiski, where you from? Shout out, guys. Where you from? You guys got any sayings? I like the may the road rise to meet you and the wind be at your back. That's a good one. Rock Saw 5 shared that one. That was a good one. I like that one. What else you got? Uh, Trying to think of some. I had a whole list in my head before I started this live, and then now I'm forgetting them. I should have wrote them down. I had to have it for material for us to talk about. Where's everybody from? What's everybody doing? I'm at the beginning of a 12-hour shift, and I thought I would do this and try to split my time. What are you all up to? Where are you all from? What are your favorite sayings? To each their own. That's a saying, isn't it? I always heard everybody say to each their own. What else? Uh, there's got to be some from around the world that are different than in America. Where you guys from? You got some sayings from Germany or Poland or Europe or Philippines? You all got favorite sayings? Let me think. I'm drawing. I wish I would have wrote them down. I'm drawing a blank. Y'all need to help me out. We have a saying here to describe someone that's really tight with money. He could peel an orange with his pocket with boxing gloves on. Yeah, that's tight with their money. I like that one a lot. Roxanne, I'm gonna make you a mod. You care? Because I imagine it's okay right now, but I'm gonna try to go for some hours, and there'll be some trolls showing up. I'm trying to grow my channel, but I like your stuff. I like your participation. I like your sayings. Yeah, that's good. They have that. What's the one on the that's been around forever? Tight as a drum. I think that's even in the Christmas Carol when they're playing that game. Tight as, and then somebody's supposed to say a snare drum or a drum. There's I really like your. Yours are way more deep than mine are. Mine are all pretty 2 or 3 words. Yours is a lot more into it. Yeah, you ain't getting nothing out of hands like that. If you could peel an orange with boxing gloves on, you're pretty tight-fisted. I guess tight-fisted's a saying, isn't it? That's a saying they say around here. Be somebody's tight with their money, they call them tight-fisted. They hold on to that, won't let go of that dollar. It's funny. It's funny that the tight-fisted ones. Well, bite your ice cream. Add a Q&A sticker. Try it. I could try that. How do I do that? Bite your ice cream. There you go. Hey, how's it going? The best of Falcon, the talk. Did I say that right? Best of the Falcon, the talk. How's it going? Where you from? We're doing sayings and analogies, opinions, talking. Roxall shared a bunch of good ones. We just did tight. I just did tight-fisted. Oh, I was getting ready to say, what's that one about a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush? That's a popular one. A bird in the hand's worth 2 in the bush. You take the milk out of your tea and come back for the sugar. Oh, that's a hell of a greedy. That's a hell of a greedy person, isn't it? You're gonna take the milk out of your tea and come back for the sugar. That's a good one. I'd never heard that. I knew that somebody from Ireland would have a bunch of good sayings, or over in Europe that I'd never heard before. A lot of them's geographical, you know. You hear that stuff from all around the world, and they're similar but not exactly the same. Kind of like the gloves and the orange being tight-fisted. Yeah, a bird in the hand's worth 2 in the bush. Or one granddad used to say, wish in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up first. Yeah, that was an old-timey granddad used to say that. He'd say, wish in one hand, shit in the other, and see which one fills up first. I guess that's a realist type of point of view, isn't it? I'm trying to think of some others. There's an opinion question. Do you actually think there's a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow? Does anybody believe it? Or is that just a saying that derived itself, that good things are promises or something like that when you see a rainbow? It derived from the, maybe it derived from the biblical with Noah and the flood. I don't know. I don't know where that came from. Where did that come from? That whole, what is that, a fairy tale or folklore? I wonder where that came from. Who come up with that one? I saw one here on YouTube just a little while back. Somebody shared it. It was about something about the Jack and the Beanstalk series being older than that story being older than the Bible. I don't know how accurate that was, but what's your favorite say? Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. 3 viewers, that's awesome. I usually don't get one an hour. I've had a bunch. Blessed. Yeah, I like that one. You got some good sayings. Trying to think another. Uh, you like that one? Yeah, that was Granddad's. The one about the wishing in one hand and shitting in the other. See which one fills up first. Is that the one? Oh, Grandma had a bunch. She had another one. Something about if you sweep the corners, the room will take care of itself. I don't quite get that, but I guess it's kind of like watching the pennies and the dollars take care of themselves. If you sweep the corners, then the room would take care of itself. Well, I had a whole bunch of them old timey ones. Country folk. I had a great aunt. I never met her, but I heard stories that she used to have a dirt floor and she would sweep it clean. Sweep it clean, the dirt floor, because it was so hard packed. She was just taking the surface dust off, I guess. But she would sweep her dirt floor and rake her dirt lawn out front in the house. That was down in around somewhere in Oklahoma, way back when. I'm trying to think what else we got. Y'all help me out here. I'm drawing a blank. I'm running out of sayings. I need some help from you all. Join in, guys. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Five. Where you at? Shout out. We're talking about old-timey sayings or new-timey sayings. Roxall shared a bunch of good ones. You can scroll back in the feed and see them. He's got some good ones. I like it. Yeah, my boss would say that because I'm at work now. He would say it if I wasn't producing, but I'm actually producing. Believe it or not, I'm doing my job at the same time. I'm a multitasker. Some people don't think you can multitask. They think that's an illusion. But I've got all my computers here and I'm watching all my gauges and all my screens, watching all my levels. I'm a multitasker. I'm doing that at the same time as I'm talking with you all. This just helps the time go by sometimes, because I can take care of my stuff and operate from here. So as long as that's done, then they don't usually care. Unless they're on here watching, then they'll probably care. Mateo Ortiz, hello. How you doing? Welcome. Mateo, where you from? You got to have some sayings wherever you're from. What are some of the old-timey sayings? We did a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. And we did, I like the ashtray on a motorbike. Oh, okay, you're in America. Well, you got all kinds of sayings in because we got them here. We got them here in America. I just told Roxall before you got here, Granddad used to say, a great uncle used to say, well, I'll kiss a red-headed duck, which I don't know what that means. He was a World War II generation. And then the other one would say, good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. And then another one would say, wish in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up first. Those are some of the ones that I've shared. And then Roxall, if you scroll back, I'll scroll back. Let's see, he shared some good ones. He'd take the milk out of your tea and come back for the sugar. And your boss might say you're about as useful as an ashtray on a motorbike. And then, I like, they have a saying in Ireland to describe somebody that's really tight with money. He could peel an orange in his pocket with boxing gloves on. That's a good one. And then where's the other one? It's, this is the one is May the road rise to meet you and the wind be at your back. Those were ones Roxall had. They're really good. You got any, Mateo? You got any that you share? Hey guys, welcome 8. The Magnificent 8. We are the Magnificent 8. What do y'all got some sayings to share? Like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel. You gotta have. That's okay. There's no reason to be sorry. You have some. I've been hitting a rock wall. I had a whole list in my mind before I started this conversation, and then once I hit live, I forgot half of them. Burden. I know I said this one many a time. Roxall probably tired of hearing it. But a bird in the hands were two in the bush. Or what else? How do you go live? You hit the plus button at the bottom of your screen when you're on YouTube. You hit the plus, and there'll be a live category there. If you got over, I think 50, I think you got to have 50 subscribers. If you have 50 subscribers, you can go live. You hit the plus on the bottom of your screen on YouTube, and then it'll say post or long video or short video or live, and then you click live and fill out a little thing and click a couple other buttons. It walks you through it, and then you can go live. You can't go live yet. How come? You don't have 50? You subscribe to me, I'll subscribe to you, and you all get 50. You all subscribe to me, and I'll subscribe to you, and then you'll get to 50 in no time. That's what I'll do. Let me see if I can subscribe to you. It won't let me subscribe to you right this moment because I'm live. I can subscribe to you guys after I get off the live. I'll subscribe back to you, and then you can go live. And after me and 49 others, I can't see how many you got, but I'll check it out and see. Yeah, we're doing favorite sayings. I like the wind at your back and the road rise up to meet you and the wind at your back. All right, thanks, Mateo. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm trying to grow this thing. I ain't had much luck, but yeah, I'm trying to grow this channel there. I thought we would do a topic today. We'd do favorite sayings, because I know there's people around the world that following, and they got to have some good sayings that I ain't heard. Roxall 5's already proven that. He's already proven me right on that one. I knew there'd be some out there. Appreciate that, Mateo. What else? There's I wish I had that list of great grandma. She had some really good ones, real kind ones too. The words once said, words once spoken can never be, or mind your mouth. Words once spoken can never be taken back, or something like that. I can't remember. She had one like that. To sweep the corners in the room will take care of itself, and then a penny saved is a penny earned, or take care of the pennies and the dollars will take care of themselves. Yeah, I know it. I got to be laid back. It's sitting upright for 12 hours. I just got out of the gym. I don't know if you saw my other live right before I come to work. I did about a 2-hour workout, and I'm getting older, so I'm a little bit achy. So I'm laid back pretty good. But yeah, you can see I got all my gear here. I got my screens. I got my machine. As long as I can keep an eye on everything, make sure that no alarm sounds, and all the measurements remain where they need to be. And if they don't, then I make adjustments and then keep them where they're supposed to be. All right. See you later, Mateo. Have a good one. Thanks for joining. Appreciate that. Yeah, you're right. If I was laid back, I'd probably be asleep. but I'm kicking in the coffee. I did have one energy drink, and I'm a half hour into a 12-hour shift. So hopefully y'all can stick around for 11 and a half hours till I work off, and maybe the night will go by quick. That might be too much to ask. You all might have a life, unlike me. All I got's work. I got 2 dogs. I got 2 German Shepherds and work. I got a girlfriend, but she's halfway across the world, fiance. But oh, okay, cool. You're back. Awesome. I like that. Thank you. Welcome back. You let's see. I can't Google any more sayings while I'm on the phone or while I'm doing the live. I just got the one phone. Oh yeah, German Shepherd guy. All right, good dogs, aren't they? I had a black lab, and I had a couple mutts throughout time when I was young, when I was younger, and then now I got my shepherds, father son duo. I think I got some short videos of them on there. Oh, I apologize. I'm sorry. Yeah, my black lab passed away a few years back, and that's when I got my. After a few years more, then that's when I got my shepherds. Well, I had the dad for quite a while, and the son I've only had for a year or two. He bred with another shepherd, and I got one of the puppies. So I got the 2 dogs now. 2 dogs and a girlfriend, but we're in a long distance relationship. She's halfway across the world, so I got my work and I got this here. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your dog. It's sad when that passes away. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was sad. I had him for a long time. I took him everywhere with me. He been to George Washington's home at Mount Vernon over in Virginia. I took him with me on a trip there. They actually let him on the grounds. They wouldn't let him in the house, but I let him in the grounds, and then they held him while I went through the house, and then when I came back, it was pretty cool, pretty nice of them. That was years ago. We did that trip to. But yeah, I took him all over. He went to North Carolina with me. He went to Arizona with me. He went to Arkansas, Louisiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Maryland, and then Tennessee. One time we were traveling and we road tripping, and I let him out in Tennessee, right, to go to the bathroom. I didn't have him on a leash, but it was like a roadside. There was nobody there, like it was dead. Nobody there. But somebody had been there because I saw that my lab over there rolling around and rolling in something, and I was like, what the hell is he doing? So I called him back. He comes back and he's covered in shit. Somebody threw a baby diaper out on the side at the rest area, and for whatever reason, my lab decided that it would be fun to roll in the shit. I was like, oh my god! And there was no water at this rest area. There was no nothing. So I had to find a mud hole and wash them in a mud hole before I could put them back in my car, because I wasn't going to have them covered in baby shit in my car. It's crazy. Yeah, a crazy story. But it's true. So I washed them off in the mud hole, got them as clean as I possibly could. Of course, he still stunk, so I had some like cologne, body spray stuff. So I sprayed him with that, and I put a blanket down in the back seat of my car. And then, of course, because I was going to North Carolina, and I was only halfway. I left Kansas. I was going to North Carolina. I was only halfway. I was in Tennessee at this rustic back road rest area where somebody had thrown that diaper out, and he found and rolled in it. Whatever. What are the odds of that? But, anyways, so then I had to ride to the first place I could find a good proper water station. I gave him a proper bath, but I had to go for like an hour and a half with, like, it smelled like a cologne, like a shit cologne. Like I could smell the cologne, but it didn't cover up the stink of the smell of the baby poop. So I smelled like baby poop with cologne on a wet dog. But talk about gagging. I had all the windows down in the car. I was driving. I was going to make a visit family back in North Carolina. I was like 20. I think I was like 21 at the time. So this was a long time ago. This was like, let's see, 20, big 20, 28 years ago, something like that. Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, it was all, I loved him, and it was all, of course, I chewed him out, but he's a good dog. I call him Houdini. You can never keep him pinned up. Never keep him pinned up. I had him at my dad's. I went to visit my dad, and he had a fenced yard, so I put him in there. And he learned to lift the gate latch with his nose, and he'd run all over town. So then I'd lock the gate latch, and then he climbed the fence. So then I put stuff above the fence where he can't climb it, and then he dug underneath. That dog, he'd get out. And then I got a report that he was going around letting other dogs out, opening up the latches in the neighborhood, letting the other dogs out, and they were running all over the town. True story. The same dog catcher that called and told me that what he was doing and that he was following him when I wasn't there, darted him, shot him with a tranquilizer dart, and then to catch him because he was too smart. The dog catcher couldn't get close enough. He wasn't mean or aggressive or nothing, but he wouldn't get close enough. Truth or dare? What is it? I say truth. Yeah, it's crazy. He was a smart dog. He'd go around and let other dogs out of the neighborhood. Then I got in trouble, unfortunately, because he got a Rottweiler pregnant. So I had to compensate the owner because they didn't want to have mixed breed dogs. But yeah, he was a handful, but he was worth it. I finally got it to where he couldn't get out like that. But I had to keep him up when I was going to work. You know, you can't take him with you everywhere, right? All the time. That'd be impossible. But yeah, he's a good dog. And then I had another dog years before that, and he got hit. My brother took him jogging. That's how close the car got. He took him jogging. He was jogging down the road. Somebody drove by. He had him on a leash, jogging next to him. Somebody drove by and hit him. Hit the dog on the shoulder of the road, and just about hit my brother. Of course, he ran all the way back. My brother let go of the leash, scared, and the dog ran all the way back to the house, all blooded up, and had to put him down. He run back with a broke leg and broke ribs and internal bleeding. It was sad. And people never did find out who done that. This guy just drove by and just hit him and just kept driving. Hit and run, just kept driving. Yeah, people in this world. That was when I was like 17 or 18 when that happened, when they did that. Crazy. That same lab though, I could throw a little rock like this, like the size of your fist, I could throw it in a lake or a pond. He would swim out and swim down into the bottom, under the water. It'd be like 4 or 5 feet deep. He'd swim down to the bottom of the water, and then come back up and bring the rock back. I was like, that's crazy. I think I have it on video, but it's on like a V8. You all probably don't even know. It was like on a cassette tape, like a V8 camcorder that I recorded it on. It was before cell phones. But I was watching a guy called Impacker on YouTube, and he has a lab that he could throw rocks out in the water, and his lab would go down and do that. It reminded me of my lab back when I would do that too. No, I'm not going to do dares, Mateo. I do the truth, but I'm too busy. I'm too old and too much at work. I can't do dares. It's just not probable. Otherwise, then maybe I would. But yeah, those are some dog stories. Do you got any dog stories, guys? If you don't have any favorite sayings, I do think that saying the dog is man's best friend, I think that's true. Yeah, I can. I'm not really in a dare work environment. Now, if I was out at the lake or outdoors or something, then I could do some dare environment stuff or whatever. But yeah. I mean, if you're gonna hit them, I mean, it's not like it's intentional. At least you had a decency to stop and let them know that the accident happened. I'm sure they were upset, but at least you were kind enough to do that. And they should have respected you for that, Roxall. They should have at least said, man, I appreciate that, because a lot of people, man, they wouldn't care. It'd be like just thump and just go on about the business, and they wouldn't care. And then you could go out and find your dog and bloodied up into a mush and scrape them up and bury them. And what would that be like? At least you had the decency to see to say that. But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of people, especially in America, because I mean the people is. I mean, I love America, but you can go up to somebody's door and tell them that something happened, and next thing you know, you're getting your, who knows how they take it. Some people aren't very kind with it. So yeah, you're right. I can see that. I can see that being Larry. At least you don't have to worry about over there. You guys don't have to worry about getting blown away, do you? As much, or do they? I guess they do still have. I guess y'all do for hunting and stuff, have guns or whatnot. But so I don't know. I don't know what it's like over there. What's it like over there? The civility in your country and stuff. Is it you like Ireland? Or you've always been from Ireland, or did you move there? What's it? What are the people like? I always want to visit there. My Mooneyham is supposed to be a variation from O'Magnan. It's supposed to be Irish. My middle name's Patrick. Yeah, Patrick Manak, O'Manak. But when they came to America, and they said Mooneyham or whatever, I think they did a misspelling of it, and from that point on, they just kept spelling it that way. That's what the story is from the family. Hey, Alfonso Cardoza, hello, welcome. Thanks for joining. One eye's enough. I'm glad you're excited, but yeah, thanks for joining. Do you have any favorite sayings, Alfonso? Where are you from? Alfonso sounds Italian. Are you Italian? Alfonso Cardoza. Welcome. We're doing favorite sayings, or just sayings that you know. We did good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, and may the road rise up to meet you, and the wind be always at your back, and tight-fisted, bird in the hands were two in the bush. Take care of the pennies, and the dollars take care of themselves. Society is pretty good in the area I'm in, but it's changing fast. We got a big problem with immigration in the last few years, where it's definitely changing and not for the better. Oh, okay. Yeah, we had a lot of that in America. I'm sure it's been all over the news. Well, it is all over the news here. But yeah, I didn't see that. I haven't seen a lot of Irish news. I didn't know you had the same things going on there. Yeah, I'm all for immigration. I agree with that, but everybody's got to do it respectfully and rightfully. If I come to your country, I got to show you some respect for your laws and your rules and things. You can't just come over there and do what I want. Yeah, can of worms. I think he's doing right. I support him. I don't go with the whole hate thing. And he's not. He doesn't hate immigration. I think his parents was immigrants, or some of them. I think a lot of the media misreads that. We were playing hide and seek with my cousin, and I went in the back, and it was a thick space. We were done, and we hid in that same spot and found my cat laying. I tried moving it, and it did not. Oh, sorry about that, Mateo. Yeah, it sounds like he went off to die. I had a cat like that too when I was young, and I found him in the. There's a well. We had a basement in the house, and they had windows in the basement, but they had this thing that would cover the window, like a window well, and it would let light come through, but it would keep the dirt and the moisture from getting into the basement. And I had a cat that went in there and had found a place there warm, and he got in there, and that's where he chose to die. And I found him there and had to bury him. That's a hard thing to do. I'm sorry for your loss for your cat, but yeah, that happens. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into a whole can of worms either, but yeah, I think he's on the right path. I agree with most everything. I don't see all that other stuff. Yeah, they overdo it. It's funny how they try to portray it all that as negative light, negative. But there's lots of positives, and he's not trying to do the legal ones. He welcomes everybody legal that follows the laws. Welcome. It's just the ones that are breaking the laws. It's illegal. That's where I'm going to leave it. I'll leave it at that. I mean, I feel it'd be the same way with me if I come over there anywhere in the world. If I go there and do something illegal, I would be held account, right? So I think it's a bunch of bad publicity. They needed, in my opinion, which everybody's got their opinion. Oh, there's a saying for you. Everybody's got an opinion, and or opinions are like asses. Everyone's got them, and they all stink to a certain amount, right? Or something like that. That was a saying. But I'm sure there's lots of things that's about of our opinions too. But I still welcome them. I'm not gonna, that's the whole point of the freedom. But yeah, that reminded me. That's a saying too, isn't it? Everybody's got them, and they all stink to a certain point, to a certain little bit. But right, we've all got them. They all kind of stink a little bit. Oh, I'm gonna have to get another cup of coffee. Yeah, why not? I mean, he's a legal representative, voted by the people, the constituents, by the society, voted in a fair elections to be in that place and to make those decisions. So if you disagree with him, you're disagreeing with 51% of the population of your country too, because it was or however many, I don't know the percent, but you're right. You know, it's not like that whole king thing is a joke. It's ridiculous. He's not a king. Nobody said he's a king. That's some sort of silliness going on there. Silliness, in my opinion. Of course, there's lots of others that have a different opinion, and they're welcome to that. I'm not going to judge them for that. That's fine. We can agree to disagree. There's a saying, let's agree to disagree, right? There's no point in arguing. Just have a civil agreement to disagree and be civil about it, and then and try to with kindness try to communicate and move forward together. Work together to have a better world for everybody, right? All this negativity. I gotta get another cup of coffee. I'm laid back so far, I'm going to fall asleep. Oh. How do y'all drink your coffee? I got mine just black as coal. No sugar, no milk, no cream. Just black as coal. And hopefully full of caffeine. It's a little bitter, but it's a little bit bitter, but I can live with that. Oh, there's a saying, bittersweet, right? Bittersweet. That's a saying. But mine's just bitter. It's not bittersweet. Well, it's kind of sweet in the fact that it's got the caffeine in it. Got to check my screens every once in a while, make sure that everything's proper. We got simpler problems compared to America, I guess. We're voting in our presidential election here in Ireland on Friday. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I mean, that's a blessing if you have lesser degree problems to a lesser degree. That's a blessing. I want to visit there. I'd like to see your countryside. I've looked online. I follow a few people on my YouTube. There was like a hook, like a travel. The name was Hook, and they were like a travel by the ocean where you can canoe and kayak up along the somewhere over there. I don't know if it was Galloway or I don't know. I can't remember. I have to look again. But yeah, it's beautiful countryside in the history. And like I said, I think my grandfather on my father's side was Irish, and he married a German. My grandmother on my father's side was German, and then farmer. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I come from farming family. They're all back in Kansas. I left the farm and worked in a factory, but yeah, we were all from farmer families. We all came from the farm. Uh, but yeah, a granddad on dad's side was Irish. That's where the Mooneyham and the Patrick and all that comes from. And then he married a German, pretty much 100%. She was a Pausch, Pautzsch. And then on my mother's side, my grandmother was French, almost a French Canadian, almost 100%. And then she had married a Dutch Englishman. So yeah, I'm a real melting pot here. Ah, cool. That's my second name's Patrick. Yeah, yeah, yep. I'd like to visit there. Just the history and the scenery and the countryside and all that. I've looked online, followed it and stuff. The only thing is I hear it's rather expensive. Like our conversion rate, your all's dollars, I think more valuable than ours, so it takes me more to travel there or something like that. Or maybe I'm wrong about that, or it's somewhere a little bit out of my price range. I got to go to like places that I can afford to go because I'm not real wealthy. So I travel. My first time ever leaving the States was just this year, a few months ago. I traveled to the Philippines to visit my girlfriend and make her a fiance. But that was my first trip ever leaving the United States. I had never left before. I'd always been here. I've traveled all over the U.S. I've traveled to almost all 50 states, but I had never left the continent. That's what I thought. Yeah, I thought it was kind of high. I wasn't for sure, but yeah, I definitely still would love to visit there. I just have to, I'll have to budget and save or win the lottery or something. But until then, I'll keep watching my videos online of your all's countryside and things like that. But yeah, I got a couple other YouTubers I follow. That there's a fellow over there somewhere in close to you in England that he's walking. We're both on a health kick, and I follow him. He's walking 10,000 steps a day. He's been doing it for 300 something days. I'll put you up. Don't worry. That'd be awesome. Yeah, thank you for that. That's amazing. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, that would definitely help. Then I could afford to stay longer. Well, or see more, do more. That would give me the funds for the foods and everything else, and the gas and the tickets and everything. Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have an Airbnb? I could do an Airbnb. That way I wouldn't feel like a mooch. I could feel like I can contribute, or at least contribute to the groceries or something, right? Or work. You can put me to work on the farm. I could feed. What do you got? Do you raise crops? Or are you animals, livestock? I could feed the livestock, or I could work in the fields. If you got dig up potatoes or feed the sheep or the cows or anything, you could put me to work. That way I wouldn't feel like that way I feel better about it. And then I could take my off time and go and travel and see things, and then that way it'd be a balanced. Of course, you couldn't probably tell nobody, or they wouldn't give me the visa if I told them I was working. They have to keep it a secret, right? I don't know how that works. I'd have to be free labor. Well, it wouldn't be free. We do trade, barter. My numbers are coming in. I'm going to have to do some paperwork here in a second. You all get to see me bust my butt. I got to sit up for that. I got to fill this out every hour, where my pen's at. I got me a chart work. I got to fill me chart work out. They feed me the data, and I log it. We got a tester down there that runs samplings on what I'm sending down there to them. And it tells me what I need to know so I can make my changes up here. And then of course I got to put the data in that I have, and then they combine their data, and then that tells me where we're at, which direction we're heading. Ah. What time is it? 6 till 7. 6 to 7 over here, p.m. Or make sure I'm on the right column. I was about entered in the wrong column. I'm gonna get my calculator out. I'm going to calculate stuff. $12.5 ton an hour. 12.5 ton an hour. That's our rate, right? That's the going rate right now. That's always never good when you hear the alarms. It means they're going to have to check on these settings. So what? 6 to 1. No worries. It's just me and my dad here. We raised some cattle and be glad of a bit of company. Ah, cool. Yeah, my dad. I don't have any cattle, but my dad still has some cattle on the farm that he takes care of for my stepbrother. My stepbrother has a bunch of cattle, and my dad retired, and he takes care of the cattle on the farm for him, feeding them and all that in his retirement. He really enjoys it. They still do that today. He's a home builder, but he owns a bunch of cattle, and Dad helps him with his cattle back in Kansas. I don't have any here. I've done moved away at the factory. We make a hardwood pulp. It's a mid product. They take that hardwood pulp and we ship it off to other places, and they take it and they pulp it back up and blend it with different things, different products, whether it's cups or copy paper or lots of different fiber-based deals, fiber-based things. But we bleach it. We break it all down and we bleach it, and then we form it and dry it and wrap it and ship it. And I'm on the forming side of it, and then my co-workers on the other end, they're on the drying side of it. It takes about 4 to 5 people on a team to run this machine, and then some of the other machines around the plant that they have takes because they also have other machines running, and they pipe the product to other places, and those places have 10 or 12 man or 20 man crews depending on their machines and what they're doing, and they make a different grade or different type of product than this. This is the only one that does that we do it on this here facility. But yeah, I'm a mid grade. Some of the places they pipe the other stuff to, they're a finished grade, but we're not a finished grade. We're a midway mid grade product, and then it got to be blended with other stuff to be a finished product. But yeah, it's a fiber. It's a plant fiber. All right, I got that done for the hour. We won't have to do that again until 8. Well, that's good. Yeah. So I'll be familiar with that. I would just want to help out just to help out, if they was to put me up, that would be something I'd do. But yeah, that's what it is. A wood pulp factory, maybe. I mean, mainly. And we send it down the road. It's we do, we do, the wood pulp. There's lots of different grades and types and stuff. They got softwood from pines and things like that, and then they got hardwood from like oaks and things like that. And uh, we're a hardwood. We bleach the hardwood. OSB board. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. No, they don't do that. They do finished. They did down the road. I mean, at the same mill site, but just down further, they got a couple finished grade paper machines, and then they got this here mid grade pulp machine, and then they got a batch where they're digesting it, and then of course they got a recovery where they recover all the byproduct and reuse it. So it's almost like almost no waste out of the. They use every little bit. That's one thing that's impressive about this industry. It gets a bad rap by environmentalists, but it's actually very environmentally friendly. Over the years, it has transitioned, and they made a focus of it. And for like every one tree they cut, they plant 3 or 4. So it shouldn't have the bad rap it does. And they use almost 85 or 89% of the product is reused, and that's what recovery does. They reuse the liquors and the lignins and the things and all that hold the fibers together. They reuse that and they burn it to make steam or whatever, and then of course they keep they have filters on that, and it's all regulated. So yeah, it's a good interesting. It is it's interesting. It's been good to me over the years. Oh, that's good. Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. You're in the same. If you're qualified as a forester, then you're in the because we have foresters work here for this company too. So you do know. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so you know the industry then. We're all tied together. Foresters work with us and work with the company, and they're a big part of everything about the environmental and taking care of the environment and everything. And for the company and the planting and the every a lot of aspects to it. I don't know why my eyes are. No, I have the lights turned down, but it seems like it's bright today. I'm not sure why that is. And I really enjoy a conversation. I'm glad you're on here talking with me. A lot of times I can be on here and there won't be nobody and they don't interact and you can't have a conversation, or it's a kid or something, and you're kind to them and stuff like that, but they don't. They want to play a game, or they talk about making you try to say silly things or something. But yeah, it's nice to actually have a good conversation with somebody. Appreciate that, your time, especially if it's 1 a.m. You must be exhausted. Where that glares, I guess it's coming from the computer screen. Maybe it's my phone. Oh yeah, no problem. Anytime. That's why I made you a mod. Hopefully you come back. My girlfriend and I, we call our moderators the blue team because your names light up blue. So anytime we say blue team, we're talking about all the ones that keep everything decent and nice on the lives, and get to talking. She does a lot of lives, and blue team's always beneficial. It keeps all the trolls and everything out. Yeah, you guys can get on there, and if somebody comes on saying derogatory or perverted stuff or whatever, you can click on it and get rid of it and whatnot, so it doesn't interrupt a good conversation like what we're having. I wish more people join in with us and share their sayings. I thought that would be a good topic, it'd be fun, but I guess it's busy, but or they just, maybe that's just not their thing, and that's cool. To each their own. There's a saying, right? To each their own. I may take the phone out into the field. I didn't check my battery life. Oh, it's good. I may take the phone out to the field. I got to go out there, and I'll have to wash up around the machine. I may switch. I think I switched the camera view, and then I can put y'all in my pocket. I ain't got no pocket. I put my jacket on. I put y'all in my pocket, and y'all can watch me wash up the debris around the machine and stuff like that. I got to do that every so often, but we're not running real fast today, so the debris is not so bad. So that wash up's not so much. I'm probably not going to go out there for. I probably won't go out there for a while. You'll be asleep probably. It'll be like 3 a.m. there, and I'll go out there probably around 9 p.m. I'll go out there, take a look at it. I hope we just have a smooth night and just run all night like this. This is a good night when everything runs smoothly. Knock on wood. There's a saying. Knock on wood. Everybody here's real superstitious. You go to talking about how you're running and you don't knock on wood. Next thing you know, we'll be in the hay or be broke down, and then be having to rethread and restart everything. And that's never any good. That's never any fun. It's not too bad for me because most of mine I just have to get off of here and start making some adjustments on my valves and things. But all the other guys don't like you because then you're climbing. If I mess up here, then they're out there busting their butt and climbing around in the heat. Nice to talk with someone different. Yeah, if you gotta go, no problem. Yeah, I lie awake a lot lately. One of the nights I didn't. Oh yeah, I don't. Oh man, I hope it goes better for you dealing with everything in life. Don't get too much on. I did that for years. I had issues, and I got on those sleeping tablets, and the ones I used were Tylenol PM, and they weren't good for me. They kind of hurt my. I don't know if it's my liver or my kidney or what, but try some melatonin. They sell it like 5 milligram tablets. Try the melatonin. It's all natural. Or chamomile tea, because I'm a shift worker. I work 2 days and 2 nights, and it throws my circadian rhythm all to shit. And so like I don't know what day and night is, and night and day is, and I don't sleep normal. I don't eat normal or anything. My body's all trying to deal with the time changes and stuff, and working nights and working days. So I use a lot of chamomile tea. It helps me sleep when I need to sleep, and melatonin. So you can try those 2 things. I think they're healthier for you, and they might help. You would feel more rested. Like I think I slept maybe 6 hours. I usually sleep 8, and I slept 6, and I had melatonin and chamomile tea, and knocked me right out. Slept. I know it was a good sleep because I know it was a deep sleep because I had the dreams, and they say you only dream with you're in the deep sleep with the REM activity in your mind. So yeah, try those things. Don't get those, because I kind of got addicted to those sleeping tablets, and they weren't. I'd wake up and I'd still be groggy, and I wouldn't feel rested, and they were affecting my. They were thinning my blood and affecting my. I don't remember if it's kidneys or liver, but anyways, I got off of them because my mother had told me to try the melatonin and the chamomile. God bless her. She's a good woman. She passed away a few years ago. But yeah, she really helped me with that, because that was a lot healthier. You can try those things. And if not, I mean, stick with your tablets. But that's just my opinion. We all have them, right? So. Yeah, that's wild when that happens. I actually woke up from this sleep that I'm talking about here just now. I woke up and I looked at the clock and it said 6:30, and I was supposed to be at work at 5, and I was like, oh my Lord. I jumped up and I was rushing around, and I was like, I'm late, I'm gonna be in trouble. And then I look, and it was 6:30 a.m. and I didn't have to work until 5 p.m. because it was my transition day. I went off of my days onto my nights. I had thought that I had slept all the way through into the evening. That's how deep sleep I was, that I didn't even realize that it was just morning yet, and I wasn't late. I could calm down. I was running around all crazy like, and thinking I was late, and I wasn't. Thank goodness. But yeah, I've had those before where you dream inside a dream. I've had those where you have a really good dream. I actually did that once when I was younger. I had a really good dream. I was like, man, I didn't want to wake up. That was cool. I was like flying above the ground, and it felt so real. I could feel myself flying. It felt so real. And then I woke up, and I was like, no, I want to go back. So I actually went back to sleep and started off the dream where I had left off. I didn't even know that was possible. That's the truth. I had started off where I'd left off, and I continued on my flight, and then I woke up again, and of course I couldn't go back to sleep then. I stayed awake, but that was something else. I'd never had that happen before. That was wild. But I actually did that. And then after it happened once, it happened a few other times, but it hadn't happened for years and years now. I have never had that happen, but I had it 3 or 4 times where I actually re-entered a dream where I left off. I didn't know that was possible, but it is, because I did it. But yeah, that is wild when you have a dream within a dream. You wake up, and then you really wake up. Yeah, I've done that before. It's crazy. It really messes with your mind. There's the old timey saying, fingers crossed. Why would fingers crossed be hopeful? And we say fingers crossed. I wonder where that came from. I'll have to do a deep dive on that. I don't know why knocking on wood and fingers crossed makes any difference to anything. Oh, that's awesome. Good deal. Yeah. I hope the best for you. I really do. You seem like a nice person. Ah, that's a good one. You're right. You're absolutely right. That is a good saying. That's the true saying, too. But yeah, that's a good saying. That's right. Every storm has a silver lining, or is it every storm cloud has a silver lining, or something like that? That's kind of along the same lines. You kind of made me think of that one with the one that you shared. But yeah, you're right. That's true. We should all be grateful for what we have, not be envious of others, and just be grateful, and then think to ourselves, there's people out there that don't have it. We may not have it the best, but there's people out there that have it worse. You're actually absolutely right. Very true. can see the writings better that way. I don't know what I need to go back to the eye doctor. My eyes have been messing up a little bit. I went there last time and they told me to go check to get with my other doctor. They said that my eyes showed signs of a high blood pressure. I haven't done it yet. I need to go, but I did go to one of those things at the general store where they cuff your arm and give you your blood pressure reading. And they cuffed the arm and said I had a pre-hypertension. I was slightly high on my systolic blood level. So I need to probably listen to the eye doctor and go check out the other doctor. But I've always been bad about procrastinating. It'll probably come back to bite me, but who knows? So what part of Ireland are you, I need to probably check my cholesterol. I don't eat very healthy. I ate the most healthy lately when I went to the Philippines. Tipperary. Is that the main southern Ireland, or is it the northern Ireland, or the eastern or western, or the mountains, or the ocean front, or I'd have to look it up. You say farmland, so I guess you're in the rural. You're not in the big cities. I guess I can assume that. That's cool. Southern. Oh, okay, cool. No coastline. Oh, okay. Yeah. Southeast. Oh, cool. I don't know, the whole everything that I looked online when I was doing research and stuff, man, the whole place, it didn't matter where you went, the whole place looked like it was neat worth seeing. You know it? It looked like the whole place was worth seeing. Didn't matter if you was what area, there was always something to see or do in about every area that I could tell. Yeah, I need to probably do, my cholesterol's probably high because I don't eat healthy. Like I said, the healthiest I ate was on that trip. I spent about 15 days in the Philippines. I ate a lot of healthy food while I was there. Rice, and chicken, and eggs, and pork, and it was almost all of it farm to market. There was none of this. America's real bad about shelf life of food and preservatives, the stuff they put in there and stuff like that. But when I went there, it was all fresh market, off of the farm, cooked on a fire. Yeah, I'd say there's probably no shortage of things to see and do there, from what I can tell online. Yeah, and the history is like outrageous because y'all been there for so long. Like our history started for the Americas or for us. I'm not talking about native or however they want to do all that stuff, but for the nation, pretty much starts around the 1600s, pre-revolution. But for you all, you're talking about back in the 900s, 900s and stuff, right? Or the thousands or the 1300s, like you all were have a written history, older written history there. And I've always been a big history person. I always figure we can learn from history. Oh, there's a saying. Dad always said, there's nothing new under the sun, just different people doing it. He'd always say that, and that makes sense. I always thought about that. You look back through history, so if there's nothing new, and it's just different people doing it, the same stuff, you could learn, and that maybe you won't have to repeat or learn it the hard way. You can learn it by reading and studying history, and then you won't have to relive You won't relive it. You can maybe change. Well, you might still relive it, but maybe you can make a choice to on some of the things not to relive. But yeah, he'd always say that nothing new under the sun, different, just a different group of people doing it. Oh, and he'd always say when he was growing up, he'd always say uh, garbage in and garbage out. So if you're gonna whatever you put in is what you're gonna get out. So you sort of say, not just with what you're eating, but like in your mind, if you're gonna read something good. If you're gonna learn something good, and then you have stuff good come out. But you're gonna put bad in, you're gonna bad come out. Whether it's learning or eating, because if you're gonna eat a bunch of, like over here, I was talking about, you eat a bunch of foods with all these processed preservatives and all these byproducts, and then you don't get nothing out of them. You just crap them out. It's just bad out. When you eat natural, healthy, and all that, then you get all that energy and stuff like that. And there's not a lot of waste. You'll notice that in your diet. So it's like goes for all that stuff. You can go to some of the typical places, like all the Americans go to Killarney and Country, Kerry and Dublin City, but they are overpriced tourist traps selling key rings and all that crap too. Yeah, I'd rather I'm not real big on the touristy stuff. I like to get out and see like the real people and eat and go to the local, the local yokel and all that stuff. I'm not real big on that. I mean, I'm sure I would go through those touristy places, but I would like to actually spend time with where you call it, I always call it like the fiber, the meat. That's one of the sayings, the meat of the potato, or the meat of the meat of the potato, what they call it. But yeah, and he would say, garbage in, garbage out. And of course, he was telling us that when we was kids, when the TV was big and we were watching a lot of television. And so, he'd always call the television the boob tube, and not boob like your boob, but like a boob. I don't know if you guys say that in Ireland or not, but like not the physical part of the body, but like a clown, the boob tube. Like anybody sit there and watch it all day long. He'd always tell us, get out and go do something, Yeah, no, I wouldn't follow the beaten. I'd like to get off the beaten track and get off and explore the actual, what I call the behind the scenes, the real, because a lot of the tourist stuff is that's not every day. That's not really the real. That's kind of almost like a illusion or show. And there's nothing wrong with having an entertainment or a show like that and seeing some of those things, but you got bigger crowds, and then you got bigger, like more expensive prices, and the substance is probably diluted. It's kind of like drinking watered down whiskey, right? Of course, I don't drink anymore, but if you want to get the real stuff, you go back into the country. I agree with you. I agree with your opinion. Yeah, that's the way I'd always do. Whenever I would travel to New York City or anywhere here, I was always lucky. I'd always have family or a friend or somebody that was there, and then they would take me to all the real spots, and we'd always get away from the touristy spots. Eat at the locals where the locals eat. And the price of the food's better, and the price is cheaper, and people are friendlier. And I've been there, took many trips to lots of places, and I always had great experiences. But I always had those guides and things like that. Or not guides, but they were guides, but they were locals that knew the behind the scenes. They knew the spots, to get away from the tourist traps and things like that. Yeah. What's everybody doing out there? Got 2 viewers. What's you guys' favorite sayings? Roxall and I are doing favorite sayings today, and just general conversation, opinions. I'll have to check my settings on there. I may have I have a. It's crazy how sometimes people will flood in, and then other times you won't see a lot of traffic. It's like the settings are being adjusted on this YouTube. I'm just learning it. I don't have a lot of experience on it. I liked your Irish sayings. You have some really good ones. No, I've not had enough. I got. I'm an hour and a half into a. I'm an hour and a half into a 12-hour shift. You could go all night long and not bore me. You could have 1,000 sayings. I'd probably enjoy every one of them, even if some of them weren't that great. Just out of, uh, just out of curiosity, just to hear them. No, you had some really good ones. I had a whole bunch in my mind before I started this topic, and I should have wrote them down, and then I would have them so I could repeat them for everybody. But then after I started it live, I forgot half of them. Dad had tons of them. Dad used to sit us down when we were growing up, and he'd have 1,000 different sayings, and they'd be whether it was based on literature, or based on the Bible, or based on his parents or his grandparents that was passed down, and he'd share them all. And I don't know what if it's my old age or what it is, but I don't think I've forgotten them all. I think they're there, but I think they're buried. I need to probably do a little self-reflection on dig them back up, remember them, write them down before I do forget them with old age. We have a thing here called Murphy's Law. It kind of means just that everything that can go wrong will go wrong. A lot of pessimistic sayings. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me that you said that. There's one here that we always say is that, especially being I have some Irish heritage, they'd say, I'm Irish. If I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. It's a little pessimistic, isn't it? But yeah, I've used that one myself here when I've had things going wrong. Somebody would say, "Man, you're having a bad luck streak," and I say, "Yeah, I'm Irish." I said, or I'd say I'm Irish American or Irish heritage. I said, if I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. There's something about drinking like a fish, smoking like a chimney. I don't know, drinking like a fish. I guess because you're submerged in it, that you just constantly, is you drinking constant. I guess I don't know what that means, drinking like a fish. But yeah, they have one here, drinking like a fish and smoking like a chimney. Of course, you got all the biblical ones. Dad raised us up. He'd always say, "Do unto others as you'd want done unto yourself." Things like that. We grew up with a lot of those. Those probably aren't so popular on YouTube nowadays. They should be, but they're probably not. There's a song or something about that too. I think it's like called saying smiling, smiling Irish eyes or something, or something about smiling eyes or something. I can't remember. I can't remember that one. Double-fisted as a saying. I forget what it pertains to, but they used to say that guy's double-fisted or something like that. They got one that's I didn't know it, but they had one that's called bent over a barrel, and it had to do with you being in bad luck. It means you was half drowned or dying, and they would put you over a barrel to try to clear your lungs of the water. But they'd say, so if they say the guy's been over a barrel, and it's like he's on his last leg, or there's a saying, on your last leg. Never argue with the fool. People might not know the difference. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, there was one that Mark Twain, Samuel Clemens, he wrote one about something about that I used to always like. I'll probably misquote him now, but it reminded me that you said that about the fool. But he'd say, better to remain silent than to speak, and better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt. Oh, okay, that's a song. Okay, I thought it was a saying. That's where it was. It was a song. That's what I was thinking about. It was a song called that. But yeah, Mark Twain said that one about the fool. It's better to remain silent and thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt. Everybody know you are after you speak. That one always resonated with me. I usually am pretty silent. I usually don't talk this much, but yeah, yeah. If you argue with a fool, they wouldn't know the difference. You're right. That's a good one. Friends come and go, but enemies accumulate. Ah, I hadn't heard that one. Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that one. That's a good one. That's fairly true, right? Friends will come and go, but the enemies accumulate. Yeah, that's pretty much, that could be a possibility. Like you said, some of those are a little bit got a hint of pessimism to them, but at the same time, a hint of truth too, right? Ugh. I gotta sit up. I'm gonna lay back so bad. My lower back's aching. That might be from my working out. I get stiff sitting here for so long. I may go out there and walk the floor and do some washing up. I'll take you all on a tour, or you on a tour. I think you and I are the only ones here. We'll go on a tour here in a minute. I wasn't going to go this early, but I think I might. Yeah, I remember when I was younger, growing up. I visited my granddad, and he was watching like a 1940s movie, and it was I believe John Wayne was in it, and he was over there racing horses in Ireland, and I can't remember the name of that movie. It was, like I say, it was like a 1940s, I think, 1930s or 40s movie, or maybe it wasn't that old, but it was made to look like it was in that time frame, I think. But John Wayne was in it. And he was a younger guy, so when he was early in his career, before all his war movies. But he was over there racing horses in Ireland. The Quiet Man. Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, that was a good movie. I remember watching that with my granddad, and seeing that was one of the first times I saw. And maybe it wasn't even filmed there, but it was supposed to be. And I thought, just the whole premise in my mind, I was like, that was really cool. I ought to go check that out sometime. I'm not sure, but yeah, I like that movie. But move this up. Try to move that up so it wasn't on my head. But I think we actually ended up moving it down. It's on my head. Yeah, John Wayne is good. He was a good actor. He had a lot of good movies, I think. A lot of people didn't think he could, like every one of his characteristics was a lot the same, but I could see a little difference in each one. He didn't stray too far from the roles, which I think he knew his talent set, so he kind of stayed with the roles. Oh, it was filmed there. Okay. Ah, okay. It was filmed then, but I think it was set for an earlier date for that. It was filmed in the 70s or 80s, but I think it was set to be back in that time. But older time in the movie, because in the movie it was during an older time, I thought, but maybe 'cause I don't think it was kind of set for the 40s or 50s. But yeah, it was a good movie. I didn't know if it was filmed there for sure or not. Yeah, get some more coffee. Some of the more modern ones, I don't know if were they filmed over there, like the Braveheart movie with Mel Gibson. Was that actually filmed over there? Or was that filmed over here in Hollywood or somewhere? I don't know. Sometimes you watch a film and they're based in those areas like England, Scotland, or Ireland, but then you come to find out then it was filmed some other place completely, and they used all this technology to make it look, like those areas or something. So I didn't know if that was actually done there or not. But that was a good one. That was an older one. That one with Mel Gibson and Braveheart. Oh, okay. That was filmed over there in the county Wexford. I thought maybe so. I thought maybe that because that would have been a lot of DGI or digital or whatever they call that stuff, the digital era stuff. But yeah, what other famous movies, was filmed there? Did they do some of the Lord of the Rings stuff over there, or was that like Switzerland or something, or somewhere in Norway or something? I don't know. The Lord of the Rings series, was that any of that filmed there? And the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan in Wexford too. Oh yeah, Private Ryan. Yeah, because that's when they storming the beaches of Normandy or something. Uh, yeah, I bet a lot of war movies was filmed over there. World War II war movies, huh? I never thought of that. Oh, New Zealand. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that. Yeah, that's a place I'd like to go. I'd like to go to New Zealand. I looked online on some of those things there. Uh, it looked like it has like a whole habitat to itself, like you can't find anywhere else in the world. I guess a lot of places like that, but like unique creatures and stuff. Well, that's hot. I might have to turn that burner off. Look at the steam coming off that. I don't even have it. It's not even cool in this room. So the room's warm for it to steam that much. It's probably gonna burn that coffee. It's probably gonna get burnt. I'll have to put some cream or sugar in it. But yeah, they're doing a lot more productions here now. Everybody's moving out of California because of the taxes. A lot of those movie producers are coming and scattering all over different places like Atlanta or here in Kentucky. They're doing a lot of movie producers are coming here and creating studios and doing stuff here. And then they get a lot of incentives for other states, and they can't afford to be in California anymore. I heard Hollywood's just dwindling away. New Zealand and Ireland are very similar climates, actually, the two countries. Oh, really? Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that. I knew there's coastal areas and mountainous areas and different things like that. Oh wow, I didn't know that either. You probably only 5 million, then you probably have more tourists than you have people there sometimes, especially during the busy seasons. Then only 5 million. Yeah, that's a drop in the bucket. I didn't realize it was that small. I thought it was more than that. I mean, that's good for a small space you all got. That's still pretty populated because you don't have a landmass wise, right? Otherwise, it would be like huge overcrowding and stuff like that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say you probably get. I knew you would get a lot of here. I know a lot of American businesses. They like investing over there because of your banking regulations. You're kind of like the new. They used to stash their money in the Cayman Islands, but a lot of them do it in Ireland now. Oh, okay, 400 miles long and 80 miles wide. See, that's mind blowing because I can drive. If I drive from here back to home, it's like it depends on whether I'm going to which family member I'm going to. But if I go back to the old farmstead from here, it's about 13 hours, probably about 800 something mile or something like that. 3 hours, yeah, that's just a short drive here. Like my children, I got two different children off to college, and they're both in different directions. They're about 3 hours in different directions from where I live. I got one child that's 3 hours in one direction, and one child 3 hours in the other. And I would think nothing of jumping in and driving, and I think that's just a short little hop, skip, and jump in America. A long drive here's long drives here start, I think, in my opinion. Of course, everybody's opinion is different. In my opinion, a long drive here is starts at after 8 hours. And anything under 8 hours is a short drive, and anything over 8 hours is a long drive. For me, in my opinion, because the continent's so big. I drove one time, that one trip I was telling you about with the dog. I drove one time from, of course, I didn't take any major interstates, so I just traveling was slower. I took only 2-lane highways throughout the countryside, which has a reduced speed. But I drove 33 hours straight one time, and which is stupid and probably illegal. But I was in my 20s. I think I was like 21 or 22 or something. A young guy. I had my dog with me, and I was traveling from the Midwest out to the East Coast, and it took me 33 hours because I was taking back roads. I didn't take any major highways or interstates or anything like that. But yeah, by the time I got there, 33 hours awake, 33 hours, I was literally seeing spirits and things. I laid down in the countryside in a small house, listened to the tree frogs croaking, and I looked out the back porch window because I had an eerie feeling in my like spirit. I was feeling there, and I was overly exhausted from the drive. That I'd reached my destination and laid down to rest, and I was looking out a screen door. It was out in the country, so all the doors are open, windows are open. It was summertime. You just let the air through, no air conditioning. I look out through the window, through the screen door, because I was not facing the screen door, but I had this eerie feeling. So I rolled over and looked out into the yard, out into the trees, into the yard, and I saw what looked like an old woman turning a crank, and a young kid playing like with the jacks in the ball and the jacks on the ground, and playing like the jacks, and the woman was turning the crank, and I sat there and I watched them, and they turned and they looked at me, and then they turned back. I find that hard to comprehend. I think the longest drive was like 4 hours. They don't call it gas here either, by the way. It's called diesel or petrol. Oh, okay. All right, I didn't know that. Yeah, we call it gasoline here. Well, you got gasoline and diesel. Nobody uses petrol much. Well, they used to call it petrol stations, but then they quit and started calling them gas stations. I bet probably when they had petrol and they changed it or something. But yeah, we call them gas stations here. Most everybody does. But they all sell petroleum products, which petrol, that's short for petroleum products, right? Gas and diesel. But yeah, so I look out the window and I see this old woman turning this crank, and I see this kid playing there, and it was just, the eeriness went away, and I just watched them for a while, and then they looked at me, and then we kind of just did like this exchange and this looking, and then I rolled back over and I went to sleep. I told my mother about it the next morning. I said just what I said here. I told the story about seeing the spirits out in the lawn in the yard, and one was the old woman turning the crank, and then she told me, she said, tell that to Daryl, and so I tell him about it, and he says, "Oh, that's weird." Yeah, right. That is funny. Why would you call a liquid a gas? Well, gas is short for gasoline, but you're right. Nobody thinks about that over here. They just use slang all the time. They use they shorten everything just to make it easy. and then half the time it doesn't. None of it make no sense. And then I'll have words over here too. That's like one word will have 3 or 4 different meanings. And so if you don't know, and you're trying to explain that to somebody else, and they're like, "What the hell is this guy talking about?" Well, it's because that one word may have 3 or 4 different meanings, and you can use it in various ways. And you're like, "Why do that? Why not have a new word with a different meaning instead of doing that?" But we have a lot of words like that. It's crazy. But yeah, so or not Daryl, Dean. His name was Dean. He said, "Tell Dean that." So I told Dean that, and he goes, "Oh, that's weird." He said, "You might have saw the spirits." He said, "My grandmother is buried on this land," and then he said, "My sister, when she was young, died in." And I said, "Well, what were they? I wonder what they was doing." I said, "They looked very peaceful and happy, and but I guess she had died. They had died close to the same time, the grandmother and the child, but the child died of lung infection, and she was all the time inside an iron lung where you had to pump air to compress air inside this tank to keep them alive, and so the grandmother did that for years. And I guess when the girl finally passed, it was very shortly after the grandmother passed as well. They were both buried out there, and they think maybe that's what I saw when I got there. But I think that I was so exhausted, my senses were, my perceptions in reality and stuff was lowered, and I was able to see into that, because I swear I had literally seen spirits into the spirit realm, spirit world. Weird stuff, huh? Talking crazy now, ain't I? But no, that's a true story. I'm not making that up. And it may not have been. Maybe it's all it was on my head. I don't believe it was. I mean, it was in my head. I mean, it was through my eyes into my head. And I think that's what I saw, but I don't know if it was actually out there or not. Yeah, over here we got all these different things. Instead of calling it gasoline, you just call it gas. But if it was a gas, then it wouldn't be a liquid. Right? Yeah. What else we got like that? We got you could say something like shore, and it could mean like, of course, I guess maybe that's universal, but you can say like shore. Somebody say, "Let's go walk the shore," and they're talking about a shoreline on like the ocean. Or you could say shore something up when you're working on something and you're shoring something up. It's like, or you could do that's a kind of a shitty one. Let me think of a better one. I can't think of none. But we got tons of them like that, where you say one thing and it could have 2 or 3 different meanings, and none of it makes sense. Yeah. You all have footpaths, and we have sidewalks, and then driveways where you park, and parkways. What is it? You park on driveways, and you drive on parkways in America, or something like that. Yeah, we call them driveways, where you park your car at your house, and then you drive on a parkway when you're going around a city or something. It's weird. Why would you do that? And then there's something else like that. Something about roadways. That's what made me think of it when you said sidewalks and footpaths. But yeah, we got to do. Well, you all call French fries chips, right? And we call them fries. You call them chips, but they're actually fries. But then over here we call potato chips, and you all call them like crisps or something like that. The lane up to the house here is called a bareen. It comes from an old Gaelic word, I think. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. So thank you. I'm learning something every day, a bareen. So that's your roadway up to the house. Yeah, see, we would call that a driveway. If somebody comes up to your house, they're coming up your driveway to your house, and then they'll park in your driveway to your house. But yeah, they call them crisps there, and they're chips here. and then they call them chips over there is fries here. And then what else we got? We got a lot of those like that where we I don't know if we're trying to stump each other or what is that. It's like a hidden because we're like cousins, right? Because after the revolution, we all come from over there. We were all like, but yeah, no, it's like we're trying to stump each other. Oh, I did that though too. It's like that in America because I took a trip from the Midwest where I grew up out to the east, the East Coast around Boston, Massachusetts. I had family up there on my mother's side, and so I go up there, and so I say, like they had that going on up there, and maybe that came from because they stayed traditionalists from Europe or something. But when I went up there, like in the Midwest, you say you want a Coke, and you're not talking about Coca-Cola. You just say you want a Coke, and that could just mean any Coke, like any flavor, Dr. Pepper, Pepsi, Coke, whatever you say. I want a Coke, and then they say, well, what kind you want? You have to be specific, tell them what kind. But on the East Coast, if you go to tell them you want a Coke, they're going to give you a Coca-Cola because you're telling them specific. If you don't want a Coca-Cola and you want a different variety, you need to ask for a soda, and then they'll ask you what type of soda you want. Then you can say Dr. Pepper, Pepsi, Coke, or whatever. But if you just say Coke, they're going to give you a Coke. But because they call they call it all sodas, soda pops or sodas. And if you go up there and you say you want a shake, they don't have shakes. They got shake is not like the same in the Midwest. A shake is ice cream and milk, blended up. And you just suck it through a straw. Shake. But if you go to the East Coast, that's a malt. That's not a shake. It's a malt. If you tell them you want a shake, they're going to tell you what you're talking about. You have to tell them you want a malt. So I was like, well, I never even heard of a malt. I didn't even know what the hell they was talking about. But they was giving me hell. They was asking me do I still ride a horse, and do you still see Indians and all that shit. And I said, no. I said, are you crazy? That's all that stuff. You don't have all that stuff. And they said, oh, well, they had never been out there, and that's the stuff they thought of the Midwest. They actually thought that we still, was out riding around or they're being smart Alex. Maybe they were being smart Alex and giving me crap as a young kid. But it was fun out there. Took me out set lobster traps, and took me out first time I saw the ocean. They taught me how to ski, not on the ocean, but on a lake out there. And I think I was about 14 years old, I think, or maybe 11 or 12. It might have been 11 or 12. My cousin that was with me, she was 14. But yeah, we went out there for a family in a wedding. They were from all around. We went out to Cape Cod and all that. It was a fun trip. A takeout, or where you buy your fries here, is called a chipper. I never heard of that before. That's cool. You can get a thing called a snack box, where it's just fries and fried chicken breasts in the same box. Try it if you ever come. Oh yeah, okay. That's popular here. We got a restaurant that's all you can do is you can get chicken and fries. It's called Cane's, and maybe they got that from you all. But yeah, they don't have any burgers. They don't have anything else. It's just chicken and fries. And you can get a chicken on a bun in a sandwich form, but it's just chicken fries. They don't do anything else. That's Cane's restaurant here that they do that. And a few others. I think Popeyes is like that. I think they're mainly just chicken and fries. I don't think they do anything extra. But most of the other places, they'll do burgers and chicken and different things, fish sandwiches and all that stuff. But yeah, I didn't know that. I never knew. That's cool. I have to check that. I have to remember that when I come out there. I have to remember where I'm saying and what I'm ordering. Hey Cole, what's good? How you doing, buddy? What's going on? How's school going? You still doing football and all that stuff? Oh, that's good. Welcome to the chat. Me and Rockstar are just talking. He's from Ireland. He was telling me about Ireland, and I was talking about America. You won the championship. Awesome. That's great. You're already doing your championship seasons. That's great. Where did you end up? Wide receiver or quarterback? I don't remember last time we talked. You were practicing for one or the other, or maybe both. Oh, QB. Awesome. Good deal. Congratulations on your win, on your victory. Yeah, they got some differences. We were talking about our differences between, or not just our differences, but what do we call things in America and what do they call things in Ireland? It's interesting to see the differences, and some of them are similar. Don't we have some? We have some similarities too. 22 touchdowns. That's awesome through the year. I guess they do a lot of quarterback keeper plays, or how do you do that? Or they count it? They count it when you make the pass. Hurling. Is that similar to a shot put with the big stone and you spin around it? Is that similar to shot put, the hurling? I hadn't really heard. I think I've heard of it, but I never knew exactly what it was, what sport that was. I watched a log toss thing on television. Oh, okay, no way, it's not that. I've seen the log toss on television, but I thought that was up in Scotland where they did that, where they were tossing a big log or something. What's the hurling? Is it kind of like rugby? I've seen rugby. That's kind of like our football. And then you all got soccer, which you all call football. Hurling is the fastest field sport in the world. 2 teams of 15 players each. Oh, okay. What is the goal for hurling? What is the competition? What do you compete at? To get the ball through a hoop like basketball, or to get down the field, move the ball down the field like rugby and football, or how do they do the hurling? Is it a contact sport, like where everybody's at each other, or is it more of like a baseball and cricket where it's less contact and more skill set, but less contact? Congratulations, Cole, on the 22. Is that how do they count those? They count that. How many games do you play? That's a lot of touchdowns. That's pretty impressive. They carry sticks and strike a ball from one end to the other, fighting for possession. They have a goal at either end. If you strike it over the bar, it's worth 1 point. If you get it in the goal, it's worth 3 points. It's very physical and full contact. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I've never seen that. That sounds interesting. They got one here that maybe sounds similar to that. Like they call it. It's not real popular except for in the private schools and stuff. The wealthy play it. I think it's like called field hockey, and they have like a stick with a net at the end with a hard ball, and they don't hit the ball, but they have to pass it back and forth and work it towards the goals and catch it. And it's like field hockey. It sounds similar to hurling. Yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah, I think that's I think the field hockey might have been a combination of hurling and then a Native American sport where does your old stick have the net too? It's a bit like that, faster and rough. Oh, okay, okay. So yeah, I had to check it out. Yeah, I hadn't seen that. I hadn't heard of that. It sounds interesting. I'll YouTube it up and search it when I end the live, and I YouTube it up and I'll search it. I got my numbers again. Time to do another set of numbers, guys. Let's do our numbers. It's 8 o'clock. The numbers coming in. All right. Getting a little hot. I'm going to have to take some steam off. It's getting a little bit dry on me. According to the numbers, it's a little bit toasty. So I'm going to take a little steam off, cool her down. All right. Calculator, where are you at? Yeah, we're maintaining. Nothing's changed there, so that's good. I think I'm going to take a little extra off this get. I'm going to do a little extra on that. Yeah, I think I'll do a little extra. The numbers are pretty high. Just thinking out loud, guys. I like to talk to myself when I'm up here. Think out loud. All right. That didn't take long. Everything's still within green specs, so that's good. As long as we're within specs, we're good. You'll see it come up, if it gets out of spec or starts to get out of spec, it'll come up yellow. And then if it gets out of the yellow and gets way out of spec, it'll come up red, and that's not good. We always want to see green. Always want to see green, no red, no yellow. Yellow's okay, but you don't really want to see it. And then green. The green's a good one. Red's no good at all. Red's means you're making stuff you can't sell, and that ain't good. That gets you in trouble. All right, we're going to go. I'm going to put you in my pocket. We're going to go out and wash up a little bit. And you all can ride along. I can't see your comments, but when I get back in, I'll respond after I get back in. I won't be able to hear nothing. I got my earplugs in. Filled up on the back walls. I just thought of a saying, old saying the granddad come up with. I have to try to tell it to you and go back in. I don't know why I thought of it, but I did. I just thought of it. And actually really a funny one. Here I sit. Okay, to put it in context, he was World War II vet. In back traveling, you used to have to pay 10 cents. You have to pay 10 cents to use the toilet. So back in the day, he would say, he had an old time saying, he'd say, after paying to use the toilet, he'd say, here I sit, broken hearted, been sick, and only farted. Yeah, that used to be a saying there when you go to pay to use the toilet, you end up only parking. You had to pay something and people use it. Tell that one again. Probably can't even hear me even though I was yelling. I can't hear myself because I had my earplugs in. But yeah, that was the old saying he had. He said, he'd say, yeah, you got the private tour, bud. I don't usually put that on there. Yeah, you got the private tour. Yeah, he used to say that. See, you used to have to pay to use the toilet. It cost you 10 cents. And that's a lot of money back in World War II. 10 cents is a lot of money. So he say, here I sit broken hearted. I went to shit and only farted. But it's going to cost him a dime to fart. It's funny. But the reason I'm talking about that is because I got to take a break and I got to go get rid of some of this coffee. So I'll be back. I'm going to go use the head or the CR or the John or the toilet or whatever you call it from wherever you're at. And I shall be back. Looking, this tour reminds me of the saying, it's like looking into a field of thistles. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's probably hard to make heads or tails of anything looking through a field of thistles, right? It's steamy and loud, and don't really, I guess you probably couldn't see a whole lot in my pocket. I'm not even sure how it might have been blurry. Hard to tell. He's gone to strain the spuds. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. What else? Drain the main vein. That's one here in America. Drain the main vein. Oh. All right, we're going to do is lay back again, just because that's a lot for me. Hello, 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 hello. How's everybody doing? Join Saul 5 and I in our conversation. Feel more than welcome to join in. What's your favorite sayings? Where are you from? What's going on? We're just chilling. Like, what's this saying? Chilling like a villain? Or chilling like a... I'm live. I thought I was live. Was it paused? Are you all there? Did I lose my signal? Did it restart? The live was... Did I lose signal and then it restarted? Yeah. Or what's the deal is? Did they... I had an hour something going on live, and then now it's started at 2 minutes. Maybe somebody's cut me off and then started back again. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing out there? What's your favorite sayings? Join Rocksaw 5 and I. We're talking American and Irish sayings, and you all can talk your sayings if you're from anywhere that you're from. We'd like to hear them. 2:15 a.m. here. It's going to try to get some sleep. It was real nice talking with you. I hope I helped pass a few hours. You have a good night. Yes, thank you, Roxal. I appreciate that. I did. You have a good night. Hope everything's good for you and gets good for you. Thanks again for joining. We'll talk to you later, hopefully. Have a good night. Thanks for joining. 4 viewers. Where's everybody at? What's everybody doing? Roxall's leaving us. It's just going to be me and whoever you all are. What do y'all got going on? We're doing favorite sayings. You can scroll back and see a whole bunch of really good ones from Ireland that Roxall shared. And then I'll repeat some. If you stick around and talk to me, I'll repeat them. But I'm not going to repeat them if y'all don't share too. You got to share together. So tell me some of your favorite sayings. A bird in the hand's worth 2 in the bush. Take care of the pennies and the dollars and take care of themselves. Words once spoken can never be taken back. You're gone in the wind. Tight-fisted. Good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Oh, kiss the red-headed duck. Those are some of them. I'm not really sure why my live restarted. I was on here for about an hour and a half, or almost hour and 40 minutes, something like that. And then now it's saying that it said 6 minutes and restarted. I must have lost the signal and ended, started anew or something. I don't know. That's weird. It's like it was paused and then restarted. I haven't figured out all this stuff on this YouTube yet. Oh, I didn't know you could even do that. You can zoom in on that. Can you move it up or down? Dang, I didn't know you could even do that. Wow, that's neat. Yeah, I didn't know you could adjust the front camera like that. Hey everybody, what's going on? Oh, hey Cole, you're back. So you never did say, how'd you get them 22? How many games was that divided by? That's a lot. That's good. That's really good. Unmodify you? No, yeah, because, well, I'll mod you back, Cole. But one of my other mods said that you was blocked in everybody, so I unmodded you. But I'll mod you back if you promise not to just block the bad ones, not everybody all the time. All right? I'm gonna mod you back. But you're modded back now. Just block the trolls out there. Don't just block everybody. Give them a little bit of chance because they was oh, is your dad? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I didn't know. I just seen that she was blocking people, and I thought, well, what the heck? It's hard to grow a channel if you're going to block, if everybody in the world gets blocked. But yeah, if you're going to mod them for a good reason, you're more than welcome. Because I'm cool with that. I mod you back. I don't have that many on here anyways, and it's only for fun. But at the same time, I'm trying to do it. I didn't realize it's your dad. But yeah, or that it was a joke. That's cool. How is your dad? How's he doing? Good, I hope. He must have taught you all your QB moves, made you get the 22 touchdowns, huh? That's good. I'm 10 and a half hours. Let's see. No, I'm 2.5 hours into a 12-hour shift. Got 10 hours left, 10 and a half hours left. Or 9.5 hours left. My math's bad. Are you still growing your channel? How many people you got there now? Yeah, I used one of my yeah, I used one of my first subs. One of my first mods too on this thing. We get famous and get up into like a Mr. Beast. We get up there like Mr. Beast. Hey everyone, chime in. What's your favorite saying? Let's hear them. Hello, hello. Welcome to my live. What's your favorite sayings? If pigs could fly. Bird in the hand's worth two in the bush. Play the cards you're dealt. Know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em. Good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Treat others as you'd like to be treated. Sweep the corners of the room and the center will take care of itself. Tight as a drum. Might have to make me something to eat here soon. A little bit hungry. Just been drinking coffee on an empty stomach. It's not good. Getting an acidy stomach. I'm gonna take some Tums. Shout out, where you from? What are you up to? What's your favorite sayings? Do you have any thoughts, chats, opinions, ideas? Let's talk. Let's hang out.